Today we're going to talk about the peak day. It's really important whether you are trying to get pregnant or trying to avoid pregnancy that you know what the peak day is and how to identify it. Because the peak day is the most likely day of ovulation. Now, while we can't know for sure exactly when ovulation happens, based on all the research, it's most likely on the peak day. And so once you identify the peak day, you do a calculation and you can figure out when you become infertile again, right? And so, you don't want to miss a chance to get pregnant. And if you're trying to avoid pregnancy, you don't want an unplanned pregnancy. So either way, it's really important to figure out when your peak day is. And so the biggest misconception, I think, about this is that the peak day based on mucus is the day where you have the most mucus, where it's really stretchy and slippery and there's lots of it and it's, everywhere when you go to the bathroom. But that's not actually true. So what the peak day is it's the very last day of any peak type observation. And so what the peak mucus observation is will depend on what method you're following. Of course, each method defines it differently, but it's always the very last day that you see anything. Even if it's like such a teeny weeny tiny little bit, you can barely see it, you can barely stretch it. If it's there and it counts, right? So that's why with the Justice observational routine, we check every single time we're in the bathroom, both before and after you go. And that's to make sure you don't miss anything, right? Because you don't want to think you're infertile, but you're actually fertile. We don't want to miss that observation. And so the last day you see any of that, you count as your peak day. And from then you're still fertile for 3 more days after. And so with Justice, anyway, like I said, all methods are different. But with Justice, the peak mucus observations are anything that has any clear color at all, or it stretches more than about an inch, or if you have a lubricative and slippery sensation. So it's any one of these three observations. And the lubricative sensation, the slippery sensation when you wipe, you can have that, but still have nothing to finger test. And so really it's any one of those three things I mentioned, clear, slippery, or stretchy, right? So the last day of any of that is the most likely day of observation. So let me know in the comments below, did you already know this? Has this changed your idea around the peak day? I know for some people, once they learn this, it completely changes, their fertile and infertile zones of their chart. And so it's really important to understand. So let me know. Hopefully I've been able to help you with this. And please do send me a message if you need any help figuring out your mucus patterns.